thank you all for being here. Until Nick took his very, very last breath, I prayed so hard, and I asked all of you to pray so hard for a miracle of healing in Nick's life. And I think it's just now sinking in my mind that God answered my prayer every day in a new and different way. I was given the privilege and the honor of being the mother to a living miracle. And now I have one more deposit in heaven to keep me focused on the only thing that really matters in this lifetime, and that's the miracle of Jesus' resurrection. It wasn't until Nick began to truly suffer from his cancer that I realized just how deep God's love is for mankind. To have the power to create the heavens and the earth, and then to allow your son to be cruelly beaten and sacrificed for world sinners. That's a love I will never totally comprehend. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son." Now that's love. It wasn't until Nick began to suffer from his cancer that I began to comprehend how this same God of such great love can also be a God of anger and judgment. Because I now know how my longing heart so easily flares in anger at the thought of anyone knowing Nick and yet walking away from his life and death not being changed to become a better person. On a much grander scale, I totally get it now. God will have nothing to do with those who reject his son here on the earth and who hear of him and are not changed. We all love to read John 3:16 and feel so loved by God, but keep reading that same chapter and you'll hear these words. Whoever believes in the Son has life, but whoever rejects the Son will not see life, for God's wrath remains on him. Now that's anger. I think my greatest fear is that Nick would somehow be forgotten. And again, I understand God's passionate effort to keep his son's life a living memorial. That's why we have communion every Sunday, to remember God's Son. God's plan is perfect. His love is beyond measure. His anger is justified. His Son will return. And until then, he deserves our worship. One of my dearest friends and spiritual mentors, Kathy Word, has a son who I remember as a little boy playing with action figures, who's now a fine young man of God and is getting ready to challenge us with a song that I feel shares my heart's question to all of you who may be sitting here doubting whether Jesus really was who he claimed to be. If the world ended today and I discovered that everything I've lived for was wrong, I still wouldn't go back and change a thing. But if your world ended today and you hadn't given your life to God and everything I believe is true, what would you have done differently? I've told my kids before, and I'll tell them again with all of you as witnesses. If I get to heaven and just one of you, Todd, wherever you are, Eric, Evan, Olivia, just one of you isn't there, I will have failed as a mom. And Adrian and Nick's lives and deaths will have been in vain. So when doubt enters your mind, as I know it will, and you start asking questions that seem to have no answers, remember this moment today and remember this song.
What if you're right and he was just another nice guy? What if you're right? What if it's true? They say the cross will only make a fool of you. And what if it's true? What if he takes his place in history? All the prophets and the kings who taught us love and gave us peace, but then inside. That's all you find. What if you pick apart the logic and begin to follow those? What if the ground of thorns is no more than folklore that must be told and retold? What if you're wrong? What if there's more? What if there's hope you never dreamed of hoping for? What if you just close your eyes? What if the odds get you by surprise? What if he's more than enough? What if it's love? You've been running as fast as you can. You've been looking for a place you can land for so long. But what if you're wrong? What if you just close your eyes? What if the odds get you by surprise?